Good morning. This is what we do every day. We wreck as much stuff as possible, and then we look at it again and figure out how we could wreck it again.
Let's do this. We're about to drive really, really, really fast.
That is good! Action. When DreamWorks approached me about making the film, and when I read the screenplay, I just said to them, if you're interested in making a real authentic car movie, I'm hopefully your guy. This is awesome. This is once in a lifetime.
Scott wanted to do a car film for car junkies. He wanted to make it just a raw, gritty, honest film.
We had this meeting with Steven Spielberg, and, you know, Scott looked at Steven and said, we're going to do this in camera. These events in the movie are going to be real. And Steven kind of broke into a big smile.
I think the audience knows the difference between CG and a real stunt.
When we sat down in that meeting, you know, prior to me even coming aboard, we just really jived on the old school movies and the in-camera approach.
Scott was able to talk about it from exactly the same place Steven was, and it made me very happy because writing the movie, I thought, I hope they can do all these action shots, you know, with actual cars.
There's such authenticity in the way Scott mounted Need for Speed.
It's called Need for Speed. We need to have real speed, real action.
Where's the rest of it? We got a lot of work to do.
There's an amazing variety of cars on this movie, just like there is in the game, ranging from muscle cars to the highest hyper supercar that you can buy.
A multi-million-dollar car, you don't really want to scratch the paint. So we create replicas that cost substantially less and also meet the performance requirements and the needs of production so that they can shoot more easily around the cars.
I mean, they were like brand new cars with the old school body on them.
All of the cars are outfitted with LS3 motors that are 490 horsepower with 490 foot-pounds of torque, special custom-built transaxle transmissions which will drive the cars at 100 miles an hour or more.
They were little race cars that we could rig to and put the cameras in spots that could really travel at those speeds. But we also needed to come up with camera cars that could keep up with these supercars.
Problem is, there's one dude, it's super light, and that's why they can fly out there.
Most insert cars can basically do about 100. And the ARM cars are not supposed to go above, like, I think it's 80 or 90 miles an hour. It's as far as an Russian ARM car is supposed to go. And so I said, we got to go way faster than that. So we converted a Mustang to be a really high-speed car. We could really haul ass and chase them. We can build you a side saddle seat. I'll talk to Lance, where you can sit passenger, so he can be profiled like that, and then he can whip pan out the thing and whip pan down, and you know what I mean?
Scotty wanted to put the audience inside the race car. So we wanted to have the camera feel that as well.
There you go, there you go, it's in focus.
They want to see some vibration, but not totally still, and we're certainly not putting the cars on a process trailer and just towing them around and making it look fast. It's going to be fast.
So the rigs had to be incredibly stable because any loosey-goosiness would create this rolling shutter anomaly.
At top speed?
Yeah, they're even. This is 130 top.
Steve Holiday was my driver, and he's a race car driver, and I was just laughing because there was times we were on 3 wheels. I was inside going, bro, we're on 3 wheels right now. You know that, right? And it's like, "Arr." He's like, I got it. And I was like, oh, God, dude.
It's 2:34, according to this.
That was some driving, son.
Before we started shooting, they wanted me to go through this crash course and just to learn how to do drifts and slides and reverse 180s and even 360s.
You know, the more time you get in these cars on the track, the more confident you feel when it comes to filming.
We brought Darren and Dominic out and just kind of put them through the paces and just taught them how to handle a car in slippery situations, in dirt and gravel.
I've never seen so much talent come out of one person in such a short period of time.
That's it.
Getting behind the wheel and looking down at the speedometer and realizing that I'm going 120, 125 miles an hour, weaving through traffic, and they're allowing me to do that is a dream come true. Happy I didn't hit the cones. I would have felt bad if I hit the cones, because the cones represent a cameraman, and so you never want to hit a cameraman.
It enabled us to do coverage that you don't see. Coverage that's usually replaced by a stuntman or a face replacement or all these things that are left to the CGI world.
I'm having to pretend that I'm not in any fear.
I'll never forget the shot down in Columbus. Aaron Paul comes up over the rise of that bridge.
What I had to do was I had to fly at the camera and slam on the emergency brake and slide and almost do a full 180, but I had to stop at the cone where the camera was, just inches from it.
Money.
There's the car, this big, ripping up, sliding up into a full-blown close-up.
The shot was insane.
Are they some kind of Ferrari?
Koenigsegg Agera R. Top speed, 270 miles an hour.
The Koenigsegg race, that was one of the most challenging, complicated stunts there was.
Everybody said, let's just do it in CG, and I was just adamant. I said, no, we can do this. Lance and I got to put our heads together to figure it out, how to do it.
Scotty made it very clear, you know, up in the air, flipping backwards, just, you know, whirling about in a car underneath the driving. So you start from that and you work your way backward.
We kind of had to go to the theory of, all right, this we have to do in pieces. There's just no way physically we can just do all of this in one shot. It was just too intricate. So I throw this idea to Scott. If we have a car and we put it sideways and we build some push arms on the front of this that can hinge and articulate.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we build basically these two pipe ramps off to the side that are just wider than the car that's pushing our crash car. In theory, this thing's gonna go up it sideways, it's gonna fly through the air, the car's gonna drive underneath it, and it's gonna stall while it's in the air. We're gonna be accelerating away. It's gonna land behind us.
It's designed to have these arms that detach. When you get to the top of the ramp, they'll rip away.
And then, you know, that car would fly, land. Then we had to cut to another rig where we then set the car there. It explodes as it tumbles. Then we cut to another shot where then we light it on fire and we fling it over the side of the bridge and land it down at the side of the bridge.
Nobody's done. Nobody's done this yet, so we're trying to be the first to knock it out like this.
I'm around stunt driving a lot, but to see the size and scale of the stunts that we're doing on this film and just the chaos, it's pretty mind-boggling for me to see.
Oh, that is good!
Something that I would always say on set, don't replicate, reinvent. So it's new and it feels fresh.
It's breathtaking because it's real. You see the dust come off the edge of the track, and it's exhilarating to see it really unfold on the camera.
We're doing some pretty crazy things, but it's actually happening rather than pretending like it's happening.
When you see the cameras and the way we move it and the way the characters' arcs are, it's definitely, it's this reinvented, the car culture film. The pros and cons of making movies is you develop a wonderful family away from your family. And everybody is like, You band together to overcome adversities every day. You just spend an exorbitant amount of time together, and you get to know maybe a little bit more than you should about each other. And it's really a traveling circus because we had to pick up the tent and move all over the United States. And there were moments that happened right in front of us, but we were unaware of because the moment can only be captured by still photography. And Melinda Sue Gordon did stills for us, and between her work and some video, you'll get a sense not so much of what we did, but rather what it feels like to be in the circus. We started shooting April 2nd, 2013 in Mendocino for about 2 weeks. To go from the hills through the great redwood forest to the razorback edge cliff lines of Mendocino and the danger level of traveling at those speeds at that kind of environment, it's the ultimate race course. All right, now I know this looks like a bunch of old men playing with kids' toys, but this is actually how we figure out how we're gonna do our car gags. These cars have a myriad of uses for Lance Gilbert, who was our stunt coordinator. And here's all of our wonderful stunt drivers: Rich Rutherford, Tanner Faust, Reese Millen, Tony Brachiohopa, Paul Dallenbach, and Brent Fletcher. They were the 6 guys that did pretty much all of our supercar driving. So when you're running a circus, you need a really tall man when you're a really short director. So I had David Sardi become the ringmaster of our circus. He was my first assistant director. And when you have the Jolly Green Giant, you need to have somebody else to handle the animals. And of course, that's Shane Hurlbutt, our director of photography. He really had more energy than a can of Red Bull. It was incredible. After a couple of weeks in Mendocino County, we drove down the coast to San Francisco. We really wanted to pay our respects to some of the greatest car movies of all time, and for us, Bullitt is definitely one of them. And as you can see right here on Nob Hill, we definitely decided that what a better place to wreck the Mustang than where Steve McQueen jumped his Mustang down the hills. San Francisco truly is probably one of the most photogenic backdrops you could ever have for any type of car sequence. After a few days, we got on a plane and flew from the West Coast to the South. Macon, Georgia. That's where we started shooting the entire Mustang driving across the country sequence. It was where we really got our feet wet with putting all of our cameramen somehow completely around the high-speed camera platform. I think they all got their e-ticket right at Disneyland here in Macon. Then at night, Macon was absolutely photogenic, and we wanted to use it to double for Mount Kisco and the opening car race with all the muscle cars.
It is so hot in this car. Is it? So hot. Georgia.
Atlanta in the summer's not really ideal for cars without air conditioning. Yes, but it was really great making sure that both of our lead actors wore leather jackets on top of it. Road Atlanta. Please tell me you guys recognize this track.
Do it. You're in the right seat.
90
You're so
degree,
excited.
180,
We're
we're
looking
going.
for Air Bear
Coming
Fangs.
down.
Fangs,
Fangs
Air
down.
Bear 94, clear.
Yeah, bear in the air, fangs. Bear in the air, fangs.
Fangs, safe and sound,
Local
beauty.
redneck. Telly donut, telly donut.
Ramon and Rami are probably the two funniest and quietest guys on our set. Jody Miller, our Steadicam operator who somehow maintained superhero status on the film. And Chris Mosley, our high-speed camera car action camera operator, was fantastic. But working in these extreme conditions made you actually put ice on the cameras. It was so hot. Digital cameras have usually a problem with that. Oh, and by the way, you should really never point a gun at a camera. Alan Rollins and his Macon Mafia grip team, these guys were outstanding. They worked so hard in the heat. It's truly perplexing how many things you need to replicate blue sky. One of the greatest parts is when we truly actually did hang the Mustang upside down. For some reason, I don't think Imogen was really prepared for that. Imogen was such an incredible actress, and I knew she was going to be in the car with Aaron for so much of the movie, so the chemistry between the two of them was really important. I mean, you can really sense it watching the movie, but what's great is you can really see it in these photos. On our road trip, I brought my family with me, my 2 young boys, and somehow I inherited a third one. He's costing me more money than my 2 young ones now. So this is where we were in Columbus, Georgia. And a couple times we just got pounded with rain. It was like being in India. Somehow the weather report didn't come in that day to let us know it was gonna just rain cats and dogs on us. We shot the gag of Little Pete's crashing on the 13th Street Bridge between Columbus and Phoenix City, Alabama. We just thought of a cooler way to fly across the bridge. When we got to Blue Ridge, Georgia, we were about to wrap some of the actors on the movie, and we thought, what a better way than to pretend it was Dominic Cooper's 40th birthday. Or Harrison Gilbertson's 15th birthday. Or Dakota's sweet 16th birthday. I'll let you guess what their real ages are. There's one thing you really can't anticipate. It's called fog. But somehow we decided to just use it to our advantage. It was truly a magical night at the drive-in theater, even though it was 4 a.m. When we got to Detroit, we had this situation where Benny flies the helicopter through the streets of Detroit. The only way to really get a close-up on him was to stand outside the skids. I just said, hey, let me just put a harness on, I'll stand out there and film it myself. One of the great things about Detroit is it's the car capital of the world. But visually, it's incredible. It's got so much texture, and the color palette is truly incredible. We couldn't think of a better place to rip a silver Mustang through than Detroit. One of the greatest things about doing a big stunt movie is, for myself, getting back together with the old guys that I used to hang out with. Some of the greatest stuntmen in the world. It was the beginning of July, and the end was in sight as we flew to Moab, Utah. When we scouted Moab in January, it was -20. No one told me it was going to be 120 when we filmed there. It was so majestic there. It was one of the greatest places to almost end your road trip. But we had one last spot to go. You know, at the end of your road trip, you always think you've overcome all adversity. But you arrive to a place where you think is going to be white, and it's a lake. Yes, Bonneville, one of the fastest places in the world for race cars. I didn't see the sign that said Salt Lake. The circus had come to an end, and we actually accomplished some amazing filming all over the United States. And while so much of the movie has to do with cars, it's still like any other movie. I mean, it comes down to one thing, acting. And I got pretty damn lucky with Aaron Paul and Imogen Poots and the rest of the cast.
The best education is being on set with your father.
I knew they were going to be stuntmen, so I wanted to teach them right.
I just grew up with the Gilberts my whole life, and we were always like brothers.
I'm gonna go chill with Pops for 10 minutes.
This whole movie is one big family.
Brother Troy, love you. Have a beautiful ride.
Our family has been a real close-knit, lovable, godly family. We're always looking out for each other.
My father, who was the original Spider-Man, his best friend was Mickey Gilbert, who doubled Lee Majors in The Fall Guy.
They both came from different aspects of skill sets. You know, my dad came more from a cowboy side, Freddie more from the circus.
My wife's dad, his name was Joe Irigoyen, and he was probably one of the best stuntmen in the picture business, but he was a horse guy. The guy was a master. He was the biggest guy in the business. And when I married his daughter, he got me in the business.
Mickey had 3 sons, my father had 2 sons, and we all grew up together.
We were all the same age, and they definitely were like brothers, and they still are, of course.
I remember just being a little kid, probably Scotty was still in diapers, and they had a trapeze set up in their backyard. We would play on it and swing and then drop and fall, and you know, so you just learn a lot of skills just by emulating what our fathers did.
I'd take them out and we'd roll cars out in the desert. I mean, I had them doing everything because I knew as they grew up, sooner or later, hey, Dad, I want to be a stuntman like you. You know what I'm saying?
As kids, we really didn't know what we had. We realized it later that we were just very, very fortunate and blessed to be playful boys with all this equipment around us.
But I never thought I was going to be a stuntman. I never even thought about what I was going to do for a living, just because, I think because we were so immersed in it that you become unaware. I think a dolphin doesn't know that it's swimming. It just is, you know?
I'm just going to add some weights and see the difference. Yeah, just 2 pounds and 5 pounds.
You know, to be taught by the Grand Master, we nicknamed Mickey the Grand Master years ago. And he always taught us about, you know, preparation is the main product of a good service.
Now it's awesome because Cody, my nephew, brother Troy's son, he's getting into the industry and he's out training and doing his thing.
It's a cool business because we can work with each other, you know, and travel the world with each other. So it's pretty neat, super cool opportunity that we have.
Cody's really going to go for it. He definitely, I think, wants his 8x10 on the garage wall next to Grandpa.
Our family, you know, Lance can be running a show and he'll have his bros there. You know, or Troy's running a show, first place he goes is to his brothers, which is really neat, you know? It's love. And of course, you know, it's loyalty, but yet they have the experience to do what they're gonna do.
I would rather you guys be ready while they're hot and it's all in their brain.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to rehearse again if we do that.
Exactly.
When I was getting ready to do this film, I personally couldn't think of a better coordinator, even though he's one of my best friends, than Lance Gilbert. We are truly like 2 brothers. We fight, we bicker, and we hug each other, love each other.
I'm just saying, I want you to...
Those are expensive. Those are $900.
Now let me punch it here. It's going to punch, but it's
Don't
forward
hurt
that
the
way.
radio.
He speaks my language, and like me, he wants to try and figure out how to do everything for real.
With this grasshopper jump, that was, you know, that was a very key element to success.
What's a grasshopper?
You may want to close your eyes for this. I always wanted to jump a car, but I just wanted to do it practically.
My father and Freddie Waugh did a jump very similar as far as distance.
I was doing this show, Winning Season, for Joe Rubin, director. And I talked him into jumping a car through a drive-in movie.
Mickey was going to do this big car jump through a drive-in movie theater screen. And he called my dad, I think it was the night before, and he said, "Hey, Wah, I need you to do the jump with me tomorrow."
So I take him out to the location. I said, "Well, here it is. We're gonna play chicken. We're gonna go out of control."
My dad's like going, "Why? It was frickin', it's in a car, and you can put a dummy in there. You don't need to put another person up in the car."
And I said, "Because I don't want to be by myself."
Because I'm afraid, man. Yeah, I need my buddy next to me.
Because I'm too scared to do it by myself.
So they kind of jumped in together and went for it. And yeah, and it was beautiful.
As a family, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. But I mean, we all loved each other so much anyway. It didn't matter. You know they're going to go if they can handle the job.
When I was talking to Lance, I said, "Hey, it has to be Troy."
You don't have Troy boy jumping for me?
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Troy only knows one word. You know, it's big. And he's just an incredibly talented stuntman.
My confidence comes from my faith. I know that when I have a goal in mind, that I'll reach that goal. And over the last 30 years, I've always been able to reach those goals, so you get this inside confidence, this inside faith.
Yeah, there's nothing like jumping a car and making it look perfect, you know, because we're pros, we're not amateurs. Right here.
That's right, Jake.
Right there.
To have him here today, helping me set up, this is where I learned all this stuff. So as soon as I land, I can be barking up, control my engine weight, get my rear weight here, aim right for that hole, and get out of here.
Knowing that Troy and my father were going to be there, and they both together have, you know, jumped from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles in distance over the course of their career. I know they got this.
Line up with my ramp. I know you want to do it. It's my turn, boy.
I want to do it.
It's my turn, boy.
The only thing about being a father to all my stunt kids that are running shows now, like I used to do, they'll call me to work, which is great, but they won't give me any gags. Just let me crash something. Let me bump, let me slide one, dude. Well, they don't want to hurt me. And I know what's going through their minds, you know. Keep him safe, he's an old fart, you know.
Are you out of your mind?
You're out of your mind for doing this.
Wow, yeah, it's me, everybody. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
We always pray. We always say grace when we're together. And it's kind of hard to describe. We're just naturally just real close.
Before I do any big gag, I say in Our Father. And then, because I'm landing next to a church, when I land and pull it off, then I say, "Thank you, Father." Let's go.
Here we go. Everybody, listen to your chips, kids, and Brother Troy Weather, have a beautiful ride. Come ahead, come ahead, come ahead. Coming ahead now.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, okay.
That was good. You just nailed the boxes.
I know. Well, I guess I'll make the trailer. Yeah, when I first got in Stunts Unlimited, all the fellas, all the elders were all, you know, "Hey, you got to go big or you got to go home." I said, "Well, I'm a Gilbert. Gilberts go big or we don't even get invited back."
My father passed away in December of 2012. And then when we filmed in April of 2013, I asked Troy if he would say a prayer and bless the movie.
Scotty knew what he wanted. And we weren't doing any CGI, we weren't doing any computer work, so we were gonna do some high-speed wrecks. And so Scotty just wanted to be covered.
During the prayer, he paid respects and homage to his dad and my dad, and what they did and were able to accomplish in their careers. And it's because of them where we are today.
It was such a special moment because just the history of our families between Freddie, Scotty's father, and Mickey, my dad, and the years of experience that they've worked together and that they've shared with us as kids. And then to be able to have my father and my family be on the project and work on it all at the same time was just so special.
We were all in the bar one of the last nights we were there, and Mickey, my uncle, you know, he came up to me and says, God, your dad would have been great to have here. And I said, you know, it would have been awesome to have the clan back together. But it made me laugh and warm all day watching the three Gilbert brothers and their dad sitting on set and driving cars and playing parts. It was fantastic.
It's so funny, you know, I always kissed my kids on the lips. And we're on one show, and we all get there, and then here comes Troy and Tim and Lance. Hey, bros, what are you doing? And they all run over, and we all kiss each other. And one of the stunt guys later on came up to me, he says, how come you kiss your boys? You kiss them on the lips. Well, I love my boys. Why wouldn't I? What's the difference if they're a guy or a girl? Well, I don't know. He said, I got a little boy. I said, well, how old is he? He's 2. I said, hey, best you start kissing him. And it's different on the lips than it is the cheek. Let me tell you something. It's a whole different deal. There's a little more bonding there when you do that. He says, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. I said, do it. You'll see a big difference, you know? And of course, I told the kids what this guy said, you know, and they kiss each other. You know, they're always doing that. It's just brotherly love, and they've just been that way.
And you need for speed, I'm gonna put you in the seat and let you drive at 230 miles an hour.
I definitely treat rental cars a lot differently now.
Scott called me, actually. Couldn't have been much longer after Act of Valor. And he told me about the script, and he was super excited about it because he's a big car guy in a big way. He knows them really, really well, and he was just excited to be able to do that kind of a thing, going back to the classic car genre of the 70s and really get into all that.
He spoke so highly of the cars being just the heartbeat from a sonic standpoint, but really wanted the sounds of the cars to not only be authentic and believable, but he wanted to put the audience in the cars.
We mixed this in 7.1, which gave us a lot of opportunity to spread sound out and to get definition between elements like car buys and things that were moving from front to back to front, on the sides, swooping in and swooping by. So Greg was able to use the sound field really effectively that way.
When I feel or see 3 cars or 4 cars zip by, I want to hear 4 cars, not a blur of sound. So really wanted to have these peaks and these buys be articulated so that the definition of each and every buy was felt. Because in order to separate sounds, we can either pan them apart from each other, or we can separate frequencies, high, mid, and low, so that you can hear an expansion of multiple sounds playing at the same time. And we do that spatially so that you really felt like you were in the car.
You see the bus, right?
What's that?
The bus! The bus!
Go to now.
like a scene out of Speed down there. Hard left with 3, Keanu.
Oh, you mean that bus. First off, being that he comes from stunts, is that he wanted everything real. And I love that. You know, he didn't want this to be a CG movie, a video game kind of movie look-wise.
You are moving, baby. Ow!
We're doing some pretty intense stunt work all over Detroit.
The physics of all the racing is very real.
We left skid marks all over that beautiful town.
The title speaks to Need for Speed. You kind of want to feel like you're going fast. So what can you do, you know, whether it's wind and or buffeting sounds of whooshing by, because that gives you the sense of speed.
We captured maybe around 10 cars, and when we want to record a car, first of all, you need to find it. That means we go out, for example, Cars and Coffee in Irvine or Supercar Sunday in the Valley. Then we'll have our rig and a little iPhone camera, and then we'll just take samples of those cars and actually go back to the studio and listen to just a rev or maybe a pull-up to see how that actually sounds over speakers. Okay. One of those Saturdays when I got up early to find the cars, I was in the Valley and I was talking to some guys, and in the distance I've heard like a really cool muffler sound, and by then I kind of could tell it might be a Mustang. And I saw it actually taken off that lot, and I ran after it and had them rev it as a test, and it was pretty obvious that this is a gnarly Mustang sound, and it ended up being our hero car. After we found a car and we decided to go and record a car, we take it out to the desert because it's quiet there, and we'll mic the car like a drum set. You know, we have like 10 mics on it and try to get the specific features of that car, like a supercharger, air intake. Of course, the muffler, it's a big deal, so we have most likely like 3 mics or maybe even 4 mics of the muffler or on the side of the car to get a little bit the presence of the car and more bass of it. And then, of course, an interior mic. We actually use a lot of dynamic mics. They can handle the sound pressure, and Omnis are a little bit less wind sensitive, because that's the thing you have to avoid of all costs. As soon as the mic blows out, your signal is ruined.
Nathan did an unbelievable job with the score, and it was a kind of a unique experience to have the composer here basically all the entire time we were finaling.
Everything is always up for a conversation up until we're done. So even on the dub stage when we're mixing with Scott and Greg, we may try again to take out a piece of music or add something else back in. Either my music editor, Matt Shelton, who's awesome, will sort of try to retinker something. And it's all about just staying open and constantly trying to do what's best for the picture. We recorded the orchestra in 7.1. My mixer Mark Curry said, yeah, let's just record them in 7.1, and since we're at Sony anyway. So he has all of his close mics so that he can come in for some of my faster elements. And then we have the tree, and then we have 2 levels of surrounds in the room. And then there's almost no reverb needed, because by the time you get to those back surrounds, the hang time is pretty solid. Then George was awesome, because we're recording George and we're doing stereo from all of his effects racks into the system. Then we started miking cabinets in the live rooms at Village. And so when he hits a note, it's actually like 4 or 5 tracks coming in that we then work in surround and to listen to, and obviously everybody's been dialed in slightly different. So to hear that is unbelievable. It's just crazy. And then I actually, as an experiment, wrote this score in 5.1. So as I was playing it, I was already in 5.
I'm willing to give $6 million to anyone who puts a stop to him.
We'll settle this behind the wheel.
You know, I think the audience will be really happy and really excited about sitting in the room and watching this, because they will be enveloped by the sound.
It's one of the comments that was made during the preview screenings, is that many of which said, I really felt like I was a passenger in the car. And so the sound guys look at each other and go, that's what we're trying to do.
You are out of your mind. I love it.
One of the things that got deleted in the film, unfortunately, was a scene with playing cards and how the guys got their position on the starting grid at the race in Mount Kisco. Unfortunately, it ended up on the floor, but I always thought it was a really, really fun, imaginative scene.
Sorry, force of habit. My mistake.
Ladies first.
One of the scenes that got deleted after the American Graffiti bit at the gas station was Toby and Julia driving away. It was a fun way to show the banter between Joe Peck and Toby.
Where is he?
Oh, he's not coming.
You sure?
Trust me.
Beauty, I'm listening to the trooper chat. It sounds like Princess got snagged. Come back?
Yeah, hey, you know, things got pretty crazy back there.
Well, we couldn't have planned it better. You're riding solo in lighter, what, 100 pounds?
I would say at least, $105. You know, I actually feel bad for those cops. They have to listen to her just go on and on and on. And that girl just never shuts up.
Copy that. Yeah, I can't stand the chatty Cathy myself.
I'm kidding. We still got her. Over.
I always liked you, Julia. I just want you to know that.
Thanks, Joe. Over and out.
I think when you're doing a car movie and it's all about speed, you have to stop at Bonneville. It's one of the most iconic places in automotive. And this scene here is about Toby and his Marshall Motors groups trying to stop him.
Looks like I'm gonna have to go away for a while, y'all, but Benny always comes back. Godspeed, fellas. For Pete.
Well?
Yeah, I mean, we can make a run, but...
Let's do our best.
We heard about your cop friend getting chained back in Nebraska.
Benny's gonna be in the brig in about 10 minutes.
There's an APB out for your arrest in at least 10 states right now.
What's your point?
Maybe we should rethink the plan.
Dino took everything from me. From us. Including Pete. Pete got put in the ground, and Dino went off to sunny California like nothing happened. You boys do whatever you think is right. But I'm never gonna stop.
Well, I don't really think I need to intro this scene. It pretty much speaks for itself.
You two, right here, front and center, solos. Let's go. What you working with? Yeah, all right, if that works. All right, Jeff, I see you. I see you, Jeff. And I'm just gonna go around. Yeah, a little jailhouse dance party. That's what I'm talking about, Gerald. That's what I'm talking about, Gerald. Yes. Oh my God, I'm getting out of here soon. I love it.
You know, when you're lucky enough to cast Scott Mescudi and Michael Keaton in your film, they're definitely going to do some pretty funny stuff without you even trying to egg them on. And this is some of the ad-libs they came up with.
Let's go. It's my grandma's car. I'm only going because I want to, and not because you told me to. Okay. Sorry,
Well, if you have to ask what a cretin is, you're probably a cretin.
I don't want to be working with Dancing with the Stars anyway, but those reserve checks ain't cutting it.
You must be insane, friend.
I'm gonna circle back. I saw some chicks hanging out having a barbecue. I'll meet up with you guys later.
I can smell love and vengeance and motor oil all swirling together out there.
You're making me proud. 2 fruit cups. Both of you, right here, right now, solo. Let's go.
Wait.
Let's get it. What you got? Oh my God, what are you doing?
I have no idea what's going on there, but I love it. I love it.
Okay, whatever floats your boat.
That's what you call spunk.
I love it, Jeff. Ride that motorcycle, baby, yes. And then I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna bang. Give me now, give me.
Oh man, this is good. Oh, this is getting really good.
Little jailhouse dance party.
My heart just got a little softer. That kind of scares me.
Sweat, Gerald, sweat! Sweat, Gerald, sweat!
Benny, I